Are we ready? Can I go live on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just give me 1 sec. Yes. So good evening. Welcome everyone to today's event on Techade and Law, which is hosted by ILA Madurai chapter. My name is Madurai. I represent Indian Lawyers Association at the national level. And before we actually begin with the event, allow me to quickly introduce all of us to Indian Lawyers Association. ILA is a pan-India by lawyers for lawyers not-for-profit organization, and we have been establishing chapters all over the country. We have been operational for the past 2 years, and we actually could reach out many of the cities, especially during the pandemic. We are committed to providing opportunities for quality professional development and supporting the enhancement of equality in the legal profession. We aim to promote the delivery of justice, facilitate effective law reforms, and advance the rule of law throughout the country. We have chapters in about 75 cities in India, and these chapters are independent in their functioning, and they have the liberty to orchestrate the chapter initiatives. ILA chapters host numerous meetings for their members, help their community by fostering pro bono assistance, provide a support system to younger lawyers, create a referral network, and also have a lot of fun. Before we begin the session, let me introduce all of you to today's speakers. We have with us Advocate Sachin Bajpai, who has more than 4 years of experience working in the Chamber of Senior Advocate cum Arbitrator. He has explored and trained with senior advocate and has extensive exposure to handling the matter from the court's point of view. Along with his law degree, Advocate Bajpai holds Certificate of Practice Bar Council of India and has a diploma in cyber law and a diploma in corporate law. We welcome you to the event, Mr. Sachin, and thank you for coming forward. We also have with us Ms. Priyadarshini, founder Smarth Legal, a firm that has its practice areas in litigation, corporate intellectual property, technology law, and alternate dispute resolution. Along with the law degree that Priyadarshini has obtained from the Bharati Vidyapeeth's New Law College in Pune, she also holds a diploma in taxation and diploma in corporate law. We thank you, Priyadarshini, for coming forward to deliver this session today. I hand it over to Mr. Sachin, who would be our first speaker. Just a small announcement: if any of our participants have any questions, please put them in the chat box either on Zoom, or if you're viewing this on Facebook, please feel free to comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhura, for the interview. So the topic for today's webinar is Techade and Law. So the Techade might be a new term for many people. Even few months back, it's new for me also. So initially, it has been coined by NASCOM, and thereafter, our PM Modi has, in one of his discussion with the Startup Foundation, he has said the term this decade. So it means this current decade, 2021 to 2030, it will be very much towards technology oriented. So it's like India nowadays. India is day by day. India is moving towards technology. I mean, they are competing with the world. If we see our UPI structure, it's one of the best structure in the world. People are following it. So all these things have come just because of the technology, and nowadays every day we are just getting news that one of the IT firm or tech firm got become unicorn. We have Paytm, then Zomato, and there are n number of firms which are growing day by day. And for these, for these, you need to strengthen the technology. There must be some laws which will strengthen all these technological platforms. So I mean, this decade, I mean, the government and the organizations, they are pushing this decade to become a decade for India, right? So there many experts have said that this decade will be India's decade. It will be with respect to economic point of view and with respect to data point of view, and there are many other aspects which are improving this decade or deriving this decade towards technology. So apart from that, there are 5G which is growing day by day. There are data protection laws which are I mean, government is proposing data protection laws, and so how they can support the startups and the new companies who are into technology, and they are not very much into all the nitty-gritties of the legal things, but how we can support them. For that we need a law, and if there will be no law, just like earlier, most of the laws we have been following the British legislations. Thereafter, the Indian laws has come. Now technology is a new thing. Technology, we have Information Technology Act 2000, and thereafter there are many other things which are coming into the picture and which needs to be protected. And if you want your country to become a decade, this decade to be a decade, you need to these companies needs to be supported by the laws. And this budget 2022, our finance minister has said many things and strengthened many of our startups with the laws and with the new ideas. And along with that, they have said many other things, that how we can grow and we can improve improve and inculcate the technology in our government sector, in our health sector. Along with that, there are gaming, and even the RBI has said to introduce digital currency. So all these things can only be possible when we have a good infrastructure of good technological infrastructure. Along with that, all these infrastructure should be supported by law. So for this, our government and the country is working on it, and they are into it, how they can strengthen our infrastructure, as well as there are other technologies and these so even our prime minister has said that they have started Startup India along with the Stand Up India. So why there is a requirement of all these programs? Because it makes to make India a title of decade, so that government will provide aid, along with that they will provide support with the ease of doing business. They can become the globally acclaimed countries and the businesses as well. In the budget, our finance minister has taken many new things. They said to build infrastructure or data centers in which we can store the data, and we can store energy efficient system, so that the companies, the corporates who are working in it, they have a good and balanced infrastructure. For that, they do not want to take support from outside India. So even as we know that Facebook, Twitter, they have a big giant data center, and that is the reason they are flourishing day by day. So it is very important, it is very necessary for that. Even our finance minister has said this data center will be the part of our infrastructure projects, infrastructure sectors as well. Because if you do not have data center, then you cannot become a technologically strong country. For that, you need a support, you need a place where you can store your data, where you can access your data. There must be some expert who can access the data. For those things, the data centers are required. Along with that, electronic manufacturing, the now if we have seen that there are many startups who are just like boat company and the lens card, they are making wearable devices, hearable devices, which are electronic devices. Even the government is giving eight if we are manufacturing these devices in India. In the budget 2022, the government has said, government has provided tax concessions in transformers, in mobile phone chargers. So they do not want to import all these products from outside world. They want that all these products should be developed in India, so that the Indian economy will grow. So that is the purpose. And if the government is supporting the businesses with tax benefits, with their programs, with their startup schemes or other things, so it means that they want India to become a very strong and independent technological country. As we all know that without technology, even our parents and everybody who are of not of our age, they are also expecting to be a technologically strong. Everybody is saying that I want to use WhatsApp, I want to order products from Flipkart, I want to order food from the Swiggy, Zomato and other things. So technology becomes an important part of our life. Along with that, even right to internet, for that there are judgments. They want the internet will become our fundamental right, and it should be included in our Article 21 of Constitution of India. So the reason, what is the reason behind it? The only reason is that because every corner of the people around in every corner of our country, they are accessing the internet. They are very much comfortable with the technology rather than the other things. They can small kids, they read from YouTube, they read from the other websites, but they do not want the pen or paper or something like that. So for that, if the countries and the people are going towards that, and if we will not provide a better infrastructure and support to them, I don't think it will be achieved. So this is the main reason. That is why the government, our prime minister, as well as in budget and everywhere, every independent organization, they are focusing on the technologies. The reason being is that because if you are not, that I think we will lack in the world. Even for ease of doing businesses as well, the government are doing a lot of efforts to make the businesses easy, because there are startups which nowadays they are having young people of 25-year age, 30-year age. They do not want to be in the nitty-gritties of the business laws, and they want their business to be smooth. It should not be controlled or managed by the bureaucrats. So that is why even our country, from I think 2 years back, it was in 50th position. Now it is at 10th position. Government is supporting it to do the ease of doing business. So these are the aspects. Even as well as the digital health is there. Digital health is because even government, or they have proposed in the budget that for digital health, you need to be your digital card should be there, and in that your what is the data of health you are having, it should be stored in that digital card. Then digital rupee, everybody is I think nowadays people are more into cryptocurrency rather than in the stock market. Even the RBI has proposed that propose their digital currency. It will be, I think it will come in the year 2022, this year only. It says central bank digital currency. However, they have not recognized the cryptocurrencies yet, and they have taxed it. But the thing is, government has not said no to that. Along with that, government is coming up with their digital currency. So we are hopeful that at one point of time, cryptocurrency will become legal. Along online gaming is there, another feature. So these are the things which have been specifically introduced and said by our finance minister in the budget. And if they have said, it means that the government and the department are putting some efforts on these things to make all the digital efforts in an easy way. They are enhancing startups. They are doing a lot of things. They have, I think, almost 1,000 crore investment has been made by the government on startups only to strengthen the economic or digital economy of the country. So these are the aspects which have been taken by the, I mean, which have been supported by the government in the budget, as well in the future perspective. In the future perspective, this says that how the India will I mean, it is a kind of roadmap that it is a kind of roadmap that with this the India will achieve its goal to be to a Techade in the next 10 years. So these are the main aspects which, I mean, which the Techade means. Along with that, it can, with these aspects, India can become a Techade and achieve their goals in the next 10 years. So these are the points, targets set by the governments in the year this year and before that in the last year, because as our PM said, so government machineries, government department functionaries, they are working on it. They are giving support to the organizations. With this, there are other laws as well who are supporting the startups. I mean, Patent Act is there, MSME Act is there, and copyright, trademark. These, I mean, how these things can help the startups and the small businesses. So because at one point of time, these businesses are, yes, they are small, but yes, up to a certain level, it will only become giant, and it will become big when you will get the support from the government. So this is the main idea of all, including all these points, just to make strengthen and make these points strong, so that India will achieve their goal of becoming a Techade country. So even the other topic for today's discussion is that patent, intellectual property rights. I mean, this patent law and yes, protecting intellectual assets through patent law. So now we all know that Patent Act has been introduced in the 1970. Before that, there was a patent law because the government want people to come up with the ideas, to patent their ideas, so that they must know what idea they are having, and if they will come up with this, it might help the government as well as the country. So when we discuss patent, there are certain features to get your idea patented. It should be there must be innovation. It should be there must be some usefulness. Along with that, it should be of industrial use. Inventive step is there. Industrial use, it is a very important aspect. It means, let's say if you build something, if you produce or manufacture something with your idea, with your invention, but it has no industrial use, or if it is not used for it cannot be used for the country, or for the betterment of for any sector, then it cannot be patented. So industrial use is the major factor. It's like that some person has made the COVID vaccine, and if it will help to the people at large, then you can patent it. But if the vaccine is for you and your family, then you cannot patent it. So it is a very important factor, because people are having ideas, they are coming up with ideas on a daily basis. They have. So if you want to secure your idea, then you must use the patent law. You must take help, or you can support your intellectual property with a patent. Just like for every property, for every tangible property, you have acts. Contract Act is there, Transfer Property Act is there, but for your intellectual property, patent laws, copyright, trademark, these are the laws which will protect your ideas, and that will definitely help in growing your businesses. Even if you know that the Apple and the big giants company, they are giving lots of spending lots of money to to safeguard your its patent. I mean, for a single application to register a patent, they are paying a lot of money to the attorneys, and the reason being is because they do not want that their idea should be used by someone else. And in technology and in technical world, if you have not safeguarded, the piracy is there and every other aspects are there. If you're not safeguarded, your idea will be, it will be stolen by someone else, and some other person can utilize it and can make use of it. So if you want, or if the country wants to be technically strong, they must use copyright, they must use trademark, they must use patent, so that their intellectual property can be safeguarded. Now there is a question that can you can you copyright your technology or patent your technology? So if you see the Patent Act 1970, it says the software cannot be patented, because software is it is a written code, or it is a codified thing. So for that, software can only be you can take copyright, but not it cannot be patented. But if you will add it with some tangible asset, some tangible thing, just like a software is there which are working before, I mean, in the backside of your app, but you cannot see the software. So software can be, you can take copyright of the software, but for the patent, if you have developed the app, how the app is working, how your product is working, for that you can take patent of it, and your patent can be thus the patent law can safeguard your asset, safeguard your business. There is piracy is there. So if you develop any business, if you start any business, if you have any technological idea, if you see Lenskart is there, Lenskart is they scan your eyes and they deliver the product to you. So I mean, this is a very beautiful invention. But if it will not be patented, if it will not be secured by any law, then someone else will come up and they can do anything with it. And I mean with you can order watch or some other product, if that's the same technology will be utilized by the other person. So the thing is that since technology is very vulnerable, everybody knows that everybody has almost similar ideas. People are, whosoever is in the business, they have similar thing. Just like you see, Swiggy is there, Zomato is there, Flipkart is there, Amazon is there. So there are businesses, there are competitions. If you are coming up with an idea, government is there to support you. Government wants their country to be a technologically strong country. For that, they are making everything, they are putting all the efforts to make it strong. And if you want, it should be like that. So you also to be needs to be vigilant and legally strong and legally active. So the what effort you can make and you can put when you are coming up with some idea or some businesses. With all these things, there is this one more aspect, the data center policy. The government has come up with a new data center policy 2020. It says the idea behind this policy is that it drives necessary regulatory and structural procedural interventions for enabling and for ease of doing businesses. So this data center policy 2020, it says that what are the efforts which government should put on the businesses. So for that, it will become easy to do business. And it also promote domestic startup, MSME sector, and other IT companies. How the businesses can help the IT sector, how the businesses this government policies can help the MSME sector, because these are the small industries, and if it will not be supported by the government policies, or if it will become difficult for them to do the business, then they cannot grow. So MSME sector is there, IT sector, IT Act is there, and this data center policy, it is a draft. It has not been legislated. It is only a draft, but yes, the main feature or the main idea behind this is to to make data centers, to promote domestic startups and other IT companies, to to make structure and regulatory reform, so that the people, the businessman and the people can do their run their business in a easy and a better way. The government also wants to provide a favorable ecosystem for the operations of data centers and databases, because the data centers, I mean, it is very important, because if you do not have your you cannot protect your data. Even data privacy is also coming, or it may be enacted in some days or some months, that whatever the data you are sharing with the government, with the other private organizations, or with the hotels, or with anybody, you are sharing your numbers, you are sharing your email IDs, everybody is having their data. But till today, India do not have any law who can protect your data. So it is a very important aspect. The data privacy and protection law should be there, so that your data can be safeguarded. It's like, if you take loan from one bank, it will you'll get calls from every bank. If you book a hotel in one, I mean, if you book a hotel from one hotel industry, you are getting calls from the other. Why it is happening? The reason being is that your data has been shared, or the platform which you are using, it is not supported by that it is giving this data to, or sharing this data to the other person. So these are the things which needs, some things needs to be improved. And the other, if we will also appreciate the efforts of the government, that what they are doing and what they are coming up with this. If it will become a Techade, it's very good. If it will not, yes, we have initiated our step, or we have gone through the right direction, and at one point of time we'll achieve these achieve our goals. So these are the things. And if you see UPI is there. UPI, now this Ukraine and Russia disturbance, in that also India helps with with its UPI structure, so that they can transfer money, they can from one person to the other. Why this is happening? Because it is the our some of the aspects of our of what we use is already strong, and it may make difference to the world. And but there are some aspects in which we are lacking, and for that we need to do some more efforts. If the government will support, if the organizations will support, if the bureaucrats will support, or if the policies will be towards to strengthen the business, or to make them easy to do business, then definitely India is a country where people are having ideas. People are very motivated. They can do extra efforts, and they can make change. So it's, since there is an inkling in the budget, as it might change, and we have 8 to 9 years to, that our country will become a Techade. I mean, this decade will become a Techade for India. So that's from my side. I think Priyadarshini is there.
Thank you, Mr. Sachin. That was quite insightful, and we appreciate you coming forward to deliver the address on this topic. Priyadarshini, may I request you to kindly take up the session?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
So, as Sachin highlighted, this is a tech aid, an era of technology. He had highlighted some examples of lens card. Lens card, when we wear a spec, lens card can scan our face and then make the specs, customized specs accordingly. So, of course, and Sachin discussed about the data, how our data are, the data are being leaked, and how our data are being misused. If we book one hotel or from one app, we get numerous messages, numerous calls. The very reason is because our data is being shared by one data collector to one other, and then it is being misused, or for it is being used by their own benefit. So yes, data privacy is one of the concern, and now the Supreme Court in 2017 held in case of the Samhita Aadhaar judgment that right to privacy, of course, is a fundamental right, and it's high time. And Sachin also highlighted that there has been no special law to regulate this violation of data privacy. Europe has UK GDPR. In fact, after Brexit, United Kingdom has, in United Kingdom has its own GDPR rules, that is UK GDPR. And then California, then CC Consumer Protection California rules, which protects the data. Similarly, we have a personal data protection bill that is still a bill. It has not been enacted and is still pending. It is not a law as of now. But we can see some companies, some apps, those AI-based startups using, making privacy policy as per the personal data protection bill. So I'll just summarize the concept of data privacy, or should I, and how things are, the data, the informations are being informed, collected, managed, stored, and transmitted, and how the burden is the intention of the government. In fact, not only in India, but globally also, the intention of the government is to shift the burden from consumer to the data fiduciary. So, of course, when this phone I'm using right now, it's a brick. If I do not consent to any of the apps. For example, if I want to book a cab, I'll open Ola, and then Ola, obviously, the very first thing that pops up on your screen that you give me the consent to, track where you are. So first thing we agree that, okay, you will let Ola access our information, that our location, where we are. And then, of course, then we can proceed on to use the app. So as of now, I think, in fact, that has been the concern of the government, that it is nearly, impossible for anybody to, consumer, to say no, that I will not give you my data. So now the consent, there is this new concept of consent management, which has been introduced by the United Nations, it is there in the personal data protection bill as well. So let me start with what is data. Okay, data is information that belongs to one party or any party with whom the data, like for example, my eye color. This is something which the AI can extract or figure out. My eye color, my name, my location, what kind of food I like, based on the food delivery app. These are some sort of what kind of things I like. What are my favorite what is my favorite genre of movies based on the Netflix, my last watch list of Netflix. This is also sort of data. So data is not only limited to nowadays name, handful of things, name, place, birth, or whatever. So and all these things combined together become a big data. And these data are being analyzed, processed, used, transformed by the corporates, by the startups for their own benefit. And this is something which is, I think it's too late. I mean, now, given the circumstances, it's we cannot stop it. I mean, there's a continuous, because we have this webinar, and Zoom is also, for Zoom also has access to some of our data. So yes, this is what data is. It is not only limited to the limited information nowadays. Now, moving on, privacy policy, and when you open an app, you see there's a long list of privacy policy, and you just click on that, and then you agree to it, and then that you give the permission to the app to access your information and use it for their own purpose. They say that we do it for for the betterment of service. That is one of the reason for collection of data. So now, as of now, internationally, Europe has its GDPR, General Data Protection Rules. UK also has UK GDPR. There's similar legislation. When China has one data protection law, as per which no country, in any body corporate, any international body corporate is not permitted to share the data of Chinese citizens outside its territory. So similarly, India has personal data protection bill, but that is not, it's not an act, and it is not in force as of now. There is still recommendation and things are going on. So I'll just give you a brief about like this. But we have policies like RBI has formulated one policy for the bank. It's I think it's there's an aggregator policy, RBI account aggregator policy. Then there is RBI direction of security control rules for bank. So these are this one. There is one policy by Indian government for digital payment for the fintech as well. So in the small policies, policies, bylaws by specific department, India is trying to implement this consent management thing. Now, what is this consent management? Now, the aim of the authority is not now. It's not just to obtain consent. The consent which we give should be informative as well. Now, the person, the data fiduciary is the person, or who a person, a body, corporate, or anybody who collects and uses our data for some purpose, who's responsible for using the data for his benefit, its benefit, or some other benefit. Now the burden has been shifted to data fiduciary. As of this, when we now the consent has to be informative. There are three things. The consent has to be informative. It should be capable of being withdrawn, and the person giving the consent should have right to give access to limited piece of information. So informative as in, I would discuss the informative. First thing is informative as in, if I and data fiduciary or any person, for example, we click on an app, that company, for example, let's take an example of a startup, any a fintech startup, or you open an app from which you can avail the cab service. So that when we open it, and it is up to them, the person who is collecting the data, to inform us about what sort of data will be collected. If I'm using an app which gives me cab service, it has to inform me that this data is being collected for, they're tracking my location. They're tracking, now in the COVID times, they're tracking whether I've been vaccinated or not. They are tracking, let's say, what else? Any other information, any other which, whatever is required. So they are tracking that they have to. So I, as a user, as a person, as an owner of data, I'll be able to know, okay, these are the things this person is, this company is extracting, this I'll be giving to. And second thing, I must know, the company has to explain to me that I will be using these things for limited purpose. For purpose for what? We'll be providing you a better service. If we track your location, we'll be able to know that, okay, look, you are in somewhere in Chennai or somewhere in Pune, and then accordingly we'll be able to inform our local drivers that, look, this person is standing on this chalk and this street, and so that the other cab people will be able to come to me and pick up me and everything. So this so the information has to be there. A user must know for what purpose the data has been collected. And second thing is the information, it is not just that once I give the consent, it is ultimate, it cannot be taken back. So I should have the ability to withdraw my consent. And this thing has been I think somebody has asked one question. I'll just answer at end of the thing. So this thing has to be if sorry, I was at the, so yes. So I should be able to withdraw the consent. No, it is not that like once I have given the consent, it is like ultimate, it is the Gita Quran and I cannot take it back. So yes, I should have the ability to withdraw the consent. Third thing is the purpose of the data should be limited. You know, sometimes nowadays when I click Ola, there are two options. Allow us to access your location. Second thing, allow us to access your location while using the app. You know, so I should be able to choose whether you can track me all the time or whether you can track me while I'm using your app. Understood. So this is what it is, and these are the things which the government has been focusing on, which is the concern of the global concern. You know how data is being misused, and we have seen in last 5 years we have this Cambridge Analytica case. You must be aware of it happened like 3 or 4 years back. Facebook, Cambridge Analytica is a data company. They use the data for the election campaign. So Facebook was, they extracted through one medium, they were able to access data from Facebook, and those data were misused by them, or I don't know, I mean, were used for the purpose of campaign of Donald Trump. And what happened thereafter? Now a political campaign, and that this campaign reportedly, that which is what has been reported, that the campaign, it was the data were misused to create misinformation which is beneficial for the concerned political party or concerned political party contesting election. Now Facebook came to know about all this thing. It was not deliberate, it was not in connivance with the Cambridge Analytica. Facebook came to know about all this thing, but it also informed, it went back to, it asked the Cambridge Analytica to stop using it, and just otherwise, a sort of warning. So what happened, this was the thing, this was one action which was taken by the Facebook, but how Facebook landed up in this trouble, that after giving them a warning, there was no investigation thereafter. Once you warn somebody that you do not do, an investigation must follow. So that is why Facebook was in the picture. So this, and we have numerous examples. We see, we'll Google, but we'll see how data are being misused. I think there was one petition filed in Delhi High Court by law students, I guess, if I'm not sure. They were saying that Truecaller is not complying with the current law, or they're misusing the data. So we see this, data violation thing happening every now and then. And course, I think it's high time for the government to bring the personal data protection bill in force. Though we have rules, regulations, RBI has an advisory for regulated entities that you should not, you should be careful about the data. We have Section 43 of Information Technology Act, which is the legislation right now. But that puts the pressure on the body corporate, and it makes the body corporate liable for misuse of data. So, and of course, the intermediary rules, IT intermediary rules, which was very much in picture last year, 2021 rules, due to Twitter and Government of India's spat. That government, in that rule, the Government of India, I mean, the rule added a list, the rule is about the due diligence. of intermediaries, and especially by the big social media handles, social media platforms like Facebook and everything. So rule 2 of this intermediary rule ask the intermediary to conduct a due diligence, and as a part of due diligence, there has to be one privacy policy, terms of use and everything. It was there in the earlier rule as well. So that privacy policy has to, as a part of that privacy policy, you must include one fact that a person who is posting anything on your platform must know that he's not posting something which belongs to some other party, any information which belongs to some other party, and that party does not have given, does not know about it and has not given authority to that person. For example, any person, if a person A post something on Twitter, and Twitter that is some information, for example, where I was for location of B, that B checked into this in this hotel at this in this time, and that B person does not know, he has no idea that A is going to post this on Facebook. So this is something which the Twitter should be aware of. It should put it as a warning in its privacy policy, and it should and secondly, and proceeding, and it should appoint a compliance officer, a grievance officer, a nodal officer, who will be looking after all these things. The chief compliance officer will be responsible on their behalf for all the for any cases, any investigation related to violation of the IT intermediary rules. So this is what we have, intermediary rules, which makes the social media and intermediaries responsible for the intermediary is a broad concept, so it covers everybody from cyber cafe to social media, from social media platform to cloud this thing, cloud storage. There are firms involved in cloud storage thing, so that they covers them also. So this is IT intermediary rule 2021 is in force, which makes these people liable, which makes them responsible to conduct due diligence, and they have set out the rules for that. Now, coming back to the Personal Data Protection Bill, there's a concept of consent management has been introduced, consent artifact or consent management. This consent management thing is in much talk, as I said, that the consent has to be informative and it should be free. The consent should be free, it should be informative. The person who's giving the consent must know what is what is doing, and for what his data will be used, and everything. So for all these things, there's a consent management. Now this a person, there can be an aggregator. We have this RBI aggregator policy. This is you can say these aggregators are sort of consent managers. It can be an electronic document, or any person or any body corporate who will make sure that these things, that the consent was informative, it was not meaningless, without knowing what I'm doing. If I give consent, it is just meaningless. So the role of this consent managers, in different terms, aggregator term is used in the RBI policy. The role of this consent managers to make sure that whether the consent was meaningful, or the person who has given the consent has been informed about everything, about the data which will be used, about everything. So as of we have this concept in the privacy bill, but it's the personal data protection bill, but it has not been yet introduced. But I think government is trying to implement these things through several bylaws, regulations. Different departments, Ministry of Information Technology is issuing some sort of rules, regulations, like such as RBI is trying to regulate the financial banking and internet banking, or the digital transaction through these So these are the things which the government has been doing as such. Now, I can, and Sachin has been talking about the copyright and this thing, the patent and, the intellectual property as well. So of course that is, I don't think, Madurai, we have, but I can give a, gist about the copyright infringement. Of course, the patent is there. It has to be when you are, it is very logical for anybody who has a, who is entering into tech industry, who's entering into this tech era, or it is important for him to be, or any person to be informed about the patent law and of course copyright. And protect it, I think really the name is not limited to for AI or anything. And we have this digital entertainment thing also. We have OTT platforms. We have YouTube. YouTubers are making millions nowadays. So YouTube is there. So nowadays the issue of copyright infringement comes into picture. One person, you must have, the YouTubers, they have this problem of copyright takedown notice by YouTube, or in Instagram also has policies. And, I mean, the thing is, people are selling products now. Earlier it used to be big actors or models used to be assigned for selling their products. Now the small startups are approaching an influencer on Instagram to sell their product or to advertise about their product. So yes, copyright infringement, and the creativity has no limit. People are creating things. They have millions or zillions of views. YouTube has a lot of views. So I think this copyright thing on internet is governed by every platform, social media platform, like Facebook, YouTube have their own privacy, own copyright policy, protecting the copyright of people. To make sure whether you are not, or a creator is not violating anybody's copyright, to make sure that his work falls within the area of fair use, fair dealing, as defined under Section 52 of Copyright Act. Our Indian Copyright Act has Section 52 that also exempts fair dealing. So fair dealing is a very broad concept. Every court, and even the courts in US, courts in India, they have tried to define fair use in a different in their own context. But it can be broadly said to be, I think, fair. There are certain things which are exempted from copyright overall. If I'll sum up the laws, there are certain things were exempted from copyright infringement, like, and work can be used for research purpose. It can be reported in the news. It can be used for teaching purpose. So these things are exempted, and fair dealing is exempted. So fair dealing is one. It depends on the amount, the quantum of work, how much. If you have taken the heart of the work, if there is a video of something, a person nowadays, the food blogger. So if you the video of is like 10 minutes, and you take out 5 to 7 minutes, you're taking the most part of its work. So that is something which is violative of fair use. And then the nature of the work is also important. If somebody is merely standing in Connaught Place and reporting some news, something happening around, so that is a piece of piece of information. So that is something which is not covered under the fair use. But if that person is dancing in the Connaught Place, yes, that is something which will be a fair dealing. Now, then first, effect of the infringement, commercial effect. If somebody takes, a person A copies music of a new song which has been even a part of the song which has been posted by someone else, and holds the copyright, or person B, let's say person B, and that person, if the person A manages to get a lot of views, and because of a lot of views, he gets a lot of money on YouTube or posting on Instagram, or get some contract with some music recording team, then of course the commercial effect is he'll be earning, in that case, he'll be earning a lot of money. So yes, the commercial effect must also be looked into. In India, we have cases like Civic Chandan versus Amini Amma, wherein the Kerala High Court laid down 3 principles for it. I would not say principles, but it is a it is a case specific scenarios. In this case, Kerala High Court tried to mention 3 things that uh, while determining a fair dealing or fair use, 3 things must be kept in mind. One is quantum of value, purpose for which it has been used. It has been used for the purpose of educational, merely educational or informing purpose, then of course not. Then likelihood of competition, of course, a competitor A, uh, for example, T series or singer of like, let's say, give an example of one singer, any singer, a singer of T series manages, or T series manages to uses some of the excerpts of a music video released by Tips. Then yes, of course, both of them are competitors. So this must be also looked into while deciding the competition, the fair dealing, or we could say fair use. USA has DMCA. I think the Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, they are following the DMCA Act, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. They are following, and they are making sure that they're interpreting everything of fair use as per. In fact, there is no specific definition in DMCA as well, but they are trying to figure out, or using the. They are governed by the DMCA laws. So this is something I would sum up about the copyright violation on internet and data privacy. Madhura.
Yes, thank you so much, Priya. Thank you. It was very valuable indeed. We have
Thank
one
you.
question here. I think we can surely take that if it's okay with both of you.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so we have a participant, Swapnil Kanirkar, who says, does privacy policy and user consent safeguard businesses from collecting personally identifiable information?
Does privacy policy and
User consent safeguard businesses from collecting personally identifiable information?
safeguard business?
So,
Is it protecting the business or
yeah, the
a
question is
person?
there in the chat box, if you know that makes it easy.
Yes, yes,
Hi,
yes.
hi, Priyadarshini. This is Swapnil.
Hi, Swapnil. Hi.
Yeah, so I actually planning to run a business and thinking to collect. So this business will be like an online business, and we'll be collecting users' personally identified information, like the name and age and location and everything.
Yes.
So while registering users on the portal, we generally provide this privacy policy and consent. So the question is, only these 2 things will safeguard us from any misuse of this information or any breach into the data policy. If some users say they have my information, and I really have a concern about it. So from the legal perspective, is this the 2 things, or there has to be something else that we need to look at or take care of?
See, privacy policy is something which you have to, of course, and there's this n number of rules which which you should consider, and you must consider. I mentioned IT intermediaries rules, right? You must consider while writing your privacy policy. Consent, user consent is a different thing. When you this is something it is a form of EULA agreement, end user license. I would sum up it as a EULA agreement. So yes, if you mention, see, there are certain things when you draft all these things, you have to tell the why. See, this is what I've been telling you. Have to tell the user you have to give them an option to make an informed decision. You have to tell them in your privacy policy document which you are which you have put, that these are the information which we will be collecting, and what are the purpose of these purpose for which this information will be used. And yes, you were saying whether this document is enough or not, if I'm right?
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's not just, see, whatever you are saying in the document must be, it should be live, or it should happen in real sense. So if you're saying that we are collecting only ABC information, and will be using for this limited person, it should happen actually, right?
Okay.
So I think if you, for example, if you have a website, if you manages to register a website through GoDaddy, and I think when you create a website using GoDaddy, the Google privacy policy will automatically apply. So these things will kind of synchronize with the website. No, it will be compliant with whatever has been written in the Google Drive. But as far as app is concerned, your developer must, whatever you're saying, first you make sure what is there in the law. Then you tell your developer that these are the things in the law. So whatever you're stating in the document, it should actually happen. It is not just about the document, must not be reduced to a piece of paper. Understood? Am I clear to you?
Yeah, that's correct. But see, when we put up this consent form, it has like 40 or 55 terms and conditions, and generally users just say, okay, I accept these terms and conditions. They keep moving into the further process of registering themselves.
Yes.
They actually do not read it. So it's like,
yes,
when you're signing the loan application, you do not read those 4 or 5 pages of 100+ bank terms. You just sign it.
See, here, see, I'm telling, I understand your concern. So here, your job in this entire scenario, your job as a business person is to make sure that you are complying with the law, and your documents include everything, and whatever you are saying has been done actually. Okay. So this is the best. Because once you include everything what has been mentioned in the law, and you are actually complying with the law in heart and spirit, you're doing nothing on your part. Okay.
I see. And as a business, do we have to, get any license sort of thing to run online business? Just to be a...
It depends which kind of business you are into.
I see. Okay,
sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Swapnil, for putting up the question and encouraging a discussion on that. So there is no question on Facebook Live.
I think there is one question from Sonam Priya. What will be the fate of digital currency?
Yeah,
I asked Sonam.
Hi,
Yeah,
Priyadarshini.
Hi, Sonam.
So my question is from Mr. Bajpayee. Since he was talking about the digital currencies, I want to ask that what will be the fate of digital currency
I think
legally?
I think it is a very hot topic. A lot of people have invested money in digital currency. So before this budget, when the government has put taxes on it, and it's a huge amount of taxes put if you invest any amount of money in the digital currency. But along with that, RBI has come up with its new digital currency or digital money. So even I am also one of the person who has invested money in this digital currency. So I mean, fate would be, I hope, because they have not completely banned it, but they have imposed taxes over it. Along with that, the government has come up with their digital currency. So we can expect that at one point of time, after 1 year, 5 year, whatever the time will be, we may
So
get
do you think any new law or any provision
laws. I mean, there's a case I think which is pending in Supreme Court. Supreme Court has asked from the center that tell me, clear the picture over digital currency, whether you are banning it or you are legalizing it. Let not be the legal tender, but yes, you can, if you will legalize it, that if a person can invest money, invest their hard-earned money to the digital currency, since government has not said anything. So this is it is a dilemma. Even if you see after the budget, the digital cryptocurrency is declining day by day, but still people are hopeful that they will get their money recovered. So this is the thing. But since the RBI has given the green signal with a new digital, because if the government will be like they do not want any kind of digital currency in India, then they must not have added it. But they are not supporting the other, but they are coming up with their new currency. So we are hopeful, and if you have invested, I think you should hold for a few
Yeah,
more
actually,
years.
I have invested. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else has any questions? Facebook doesn't have a question so far, but what I'll do, anyway, usually it's a trend that events usually pick up a little later or during the next 24 to 30 hours time frame on Facebook. So we'll keep circulating it, and if at all we get any questions on Facebook itself or anyone reaches out to us, we'll surely send them out to both of you on emails, if that's fine with you. And we would love to continue the conversation on this very interesting and quite a new topic that is coming up. So thank you so much, Sachin and Priyadarshini, for joining us today and delivering such an interesting session today on this topic. And to all the participants who have joined us here on Zoom as well as on the Facebook Live, we thank all of you for joining us on the Friday afternoon. And the upcoming event at ILA is the one on the POSH law, and it's happening on the 21st of this month. The details of this event are already there on ILA website, and would love to invite all of you to interact with ILA, join the chapter in your city, and be a part of this vibrant organization in some or the other way. I'll send all of you a detailed email by today or latest tomorrow morning, and we'll take it forward. Thank you so much, all of you, once again.
Thank you, Madura. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madura. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.